And with that, welcome back to a new Minecraft video. And in this new video, we're gonna start some sort of new series. And yeah, I'm aware that I'm starting a lot of series and that I don't finish a lot, but I don't care. I do what I want on this channel. So, this new series is going to be something similar to a sort of video I did in the past, but I did them in German, so whoever saw my German videos knows about this. This series is going to be all about talking about topics. So, how do I explain this? Like in the past I had the Minecraft Let's Play series, that's what I called it, where my goal was to play through Minecraft while reaching all kinds of goals. And every now and then I would do a so-called topic episode. And in that sort of episode, I would be talking about one single topic very in depth. And this is kind of what I want to do in this series. I don't want to commentate a lot on the actual gameplay, but I want to focus on talking about different topics. And today we are starting things off by talking about Harry. What was that? By talking about Harry Potter. So let's get into that. And yeah, I got to this because I recently watched some video essays about the Harry Potter movies, and that is not stone, that's sad, but I noticed that my conception of the movies might be a lot different than for many other people. Because I'm a huge Harry Potter fan. I grew up with the series. There is no other franchise that I followed as much as Harry Potter throughout growing up. And yeah, I always had this issue, and I'm not the only one. Like my brother, who kind of grew up together with me, we're like 1.5 years apart. But we agree on a lot of things about Harry Potter, and we always agreed that the movies are kind of crap and that they're not really doing the series any favors. And I think that a big reason for that is actually like our expectations of the movies. And when I watched these video essays about someone who actually really loves the movies, I noticed that there's a huge difference if you expect the movies to be basically nothing else than just converting, that is the word I'm looking for. Basically converting the books into a movie, then you are not going to have a lot of fun with the movies, because the movies simply cannot reach that level of in-depth storytelling that a book can. Where a book can spend a page or more just describing what is going on in Harry's head, for example, a movie just can't do that. Or where the book can take an entire chapter for just a dialogue between Harry and Dumbledore, to put that on the screen would simply be extremely boring. Have two people just sit there and talk. I mean, you can do that in certain types of movies, but it's obvious that the Harry Potter movies are not that kind of movies, where you just spend filming a conversation for 20 minutes between two people. And I'm aware of that, obviously, but I still think that many of the movies made very, fundamental mistakes and made it very hard for an actual fan of the series or an actual fan of the books to enjoy the movies. Don't understand me wrong, I like the movies, I watched the movies many times. But there are actually two movies that I never enjoyed and that I always really hated. And those are the 5th and 6th movie. And I was really surprised when this guy I watched, also I'm going to put a link to the videos down in the description, but most Harry Potter fans probably saw the videos already. I just forgot the name right now. But what I wanted to say is, I was really surprised when he said that actually the 5th movie is his favorite movie. And I thought, how can that be? How can a Harry Potter fan actually think that the 5th movie in any way could be the best in the series? That doesn't make any sense for me. Obviously, I sat down and watched his essay about the 5th movie and saw that he made a lot of very valid points, even though I disagree with many of them. Like, for example, for him, it was a good change by the movies to let Luna introduce Harry to the Thestrals, because that is supposed to strengthen Harry's bond with Luna, and it enriches Luna's character. And to me it just feels odd having Luna do this, because she never did that in the movies. And I always feel like I got robbed a scene with Hagrid, and that the movies were doing Luna injustice by putting words in her mouth she never said. That is one thing, for example. Another thing is that for me, in many scenes that are supposed to kind of show things that are going on in Harry's head, for me are not executed well. Like having a cutscene and in the background you hear Voldemort whisper Harry's name. To me that just doesn't give me much. It doesn't feel real. It doesn't feel to me like this is Harry's head. It feels to me like, why is Voldemort whispering in the night somewhere outside of Hogwarts? Or the scene where Harry is at the train station and then he sees Voldemort standing there, even though Voldemort obviously is not standing there, and it's meant to show that Voldemort is basically just living in Harry's head, and Harry is completely consumed by this fear of Voldemort. And for me the scene just doesn't work, because Voldemort would not be on a train station. I can overlook that. I can understand, okay, this is supposed to show that like wherever Harry's looking he just sees Voldemort. The second thing is the movement of Voldemort is just weird. I understand that like Voldemort kind of represents a snake, and they show that through his movement. But why would he stand there and make such a movement? It's weird. And then the worst thing is that they put Voldemort in a suit. That is just a thing that the Voldemort in the books would never do. Voldemort in the books is ignorant towards muggles. He hates muggles, he hates everything that is related to muggles. So why on earth would he dress like a muggle? Voldemort would definitely wear nothing else but, what is the English word for it? Language. You know what I mean. Like the wizards, a wizard robe, right? That's what it's called. And yeah, so for me that is just really odd. And then they have Harry snap at random people like Malfoy, while Ron and Hermione hold him back, which kinda is a part of the books, but the execution is just not well made. Then there's a lot of montages in this film, with like the newspaper articles, which is now a Harry Potter classic, which we see in pretty much every movie. I never really enjoyed that. I would enjoy to actually see what happened. Of course, this is a try to compromise, like saying we can't put everything in this movie. The movie just does not have the space to show everything that went on. But it also kinda takes away from what is going on, because the Daily Prophet is a propaganda paper. So yeah, it just didn't do it for me. Yeah, I'm still playing Minecraft, so I also have to focus on that a little bit. But yeah, then watching his videos, I noticed another thing that he said, and that is that the 5th book is actually his least favorite. And that then obviously explained a lot of things to me. Because if you don't like the source material, it is very likely that whenever the movie makes a change, what you notice is, oh yeah, that changed this thing I didn't like. This seems to be better than it was before. So the movie appears to you much better than to someone who actually likes the source material and who every time there's a change in the source material, every time there's a change in the movie thinks, oh, why is this cool thing that I read about not in the movie? Why did they change this thing? And you kinda have the opposite effect when looking at the 6th movie. That also was changed a lot from the source material. But because everyone agrees, or pretty much everyone agrees, that the 6th book is the best book in the series, all the changes they made for the 6th movie appear like they are really bad, and they make the movie worse. Even though for someone who doesn't know the books, maybe this movie works in and on itself. Oh yeah, my camera fell over. So, yeah, and we cannot talk about the Harry Potter movies without talking about the 6th movie and about how bad this movie was actually for the Harry Potter franchise. Because if you don't agree that the 6th movie is the worst in the series, I don't know. But this movie is just doing so many things so wrong, and after watching the video essays, I totally understand why you would also think that the 4th movie is really bad and a really bad adaptation. And I see all the issues with the director, who absolutely was not a Harry Potter fan. But I don't understand, I don't know what David Yates was thinking when he did the 6th movie. Like, if I had to count up the good things in the 6th movie, then, and this is now spoiler alert, so if you haven't watched or read Harry Potter, better read Harry Potter, then maybe turn off this video. I hope I put spoiler alert at the beginning. But yeah, if I count up all the good things about the 6th movie, I come to the cave and Dumbledore's death and the scene with the raising wands, which I'm surprised, this is one of the best changes that were ever made by the movies it enhances the wizarding world a lot. For a long time I had actually troubles with this scene because it was a change from the books, and I was like so caught up in this, it has to be like the books. But looking at it honestly, it is such a nice gesture, and it's such a beautiful and powerful scene how they put their wands into the air, and with this light that comes from them they destroy the dark mark, and it shows like how light always defeats darkness. It's really beautiful. Other than that, this movie gives me absolutely nothing. It actually does quite the opposite. It changes things, it shows things in ways that just makes the story worse. Let me drink a sip. If we just start with the beginning of the movie, this is actually something they already did in the 5th movie, but they have the Death Eaters kinda have this flying around ability where they change into dark smoke and they just fly around, and like, this doesn't work. Just think about it, how in the 7th book Voldemort flies without a broom, and like everyone is like, OMG, did you see Voldemort? He flew without a broom. Like, this is the most amazing thing, so it doesn't fit for me that the Death Eaters can do that. Because then Voldemort flying without a broom is just not a special thing. Then, yeah, they show the scene where they go into Diagon Alley and where they destroy the bridge, which is actually not that bad. But like, the whole time they are flying around, so that destroys that again. And then we go to Harry, who is sitting at a train station. And he's like exploring the Muggle world. And that is so odd and so out of character for so many reasons. Just starting with the fact that this is the book in which the Wizarding War kinda sets off. This is the first book in the series where Voldemort has returned and everyone knows about it. And the whole Wizarding world is on alert. Everyone is trying to protect themselves. Everyone is trying to to just survive and not get into any danger. And sorry. And so it's completely inappropriate for Harry to go out into the Muggle world on his own and have like no protection at all. Like, yeah, he might have his invisibility cloak somewhere with him, but that is not gonna stop a Death Eater who finds him. That is not gonna stop Voldemort. Like, the whole point for Dumbledore to put Harry into the Dursleys' house is that that is a safe place for Harry. That is a place where Voldemort cannot find him. And if it would be as easy as putting on an invisibility cloak to escape Voldemort, then there would be no need for Harry to live with the Dursleys. So, that makes absolutely no sense. That is one thing, that it makes no sense. The other thing is that the opening of this book is one of the most brilliant openings in my opinion. I know some people might think it's boring, but to me it's just wonderfully written. It starts off with the British Prime Minister who remembers basically his whole career and remembers how time after time again the wizards came to him and talked to him about all the things that happened throughout the Harry Potter series. It's a nice flashback to all the things that happened in the books and reminds us, of everything that happened. And it shows us another perspective of it. It shows us, in this case, the ministry's perspective of things. And how easy it is to understand the ministry's standpoint of things. Even though, of course, Fudge in the end was nothing but ignorant and hungry for power, but that's a whole other topic. And it ends with Fudge arriving and introducing Scrimger as the new Minister for Magic. And this whole thing did not happen in the movies. So we missed out on Scrimger being the new Prime Minister, which would actually have been a very good information. I'm not sure right now. Harry is reading a newspaper there. Maybe there is like a headline that Scrimger replaces Fudge. It doesn't matter. The next thing we see is in the books the unbreakable vow that we do actually get in the movies as well, but I don't really remember at which point. This is another wonderful scene. It shows Bellatrix and Narcissa. It gives us the Death Eater perspective of things, shows us how they also are people that live and think, that have goals and dreams, that trust each other or don't trust each other. And it's really a really nice chapter that it's also not really there. It is in the movies, there is a vow, but instead we get this train station scene, and I watched some behind the scenes material, and I think they said they wanted to show this they wanted to show all of this through Harry's perspective. And like, even if you do that, then take the brilliant opening of Harry's story, where he is with the Dursleys in the beginning and where Dumbledore arrives in Privet Drive, and you can have this amazing flashback how this recall to the first movie's opening, and can basically start the sixth movie exactly the same way you started the first movie, but have all these years in between, and kinda show Dumbledore how he looks up and down the street, and it feels the same but different. Maybe you have a new soundtrack playing for that, and then you have this discussion with Harry and the Dursleys about his future, and Dumbledore explaining that Harry should come back one more time. And you get Creature and understand a bit more about the background of things and what is going on. Really nice scene in the books, and it's not a part of the movies. And from there it doesn't really get any better. Exactly, they go to get Slughorn. That scene is not that bad, it's fine. You can do that like that in a movie. And then we go to the Weasleys. And here's the next big change they made that just is so out of character, where Harry's stuff just appears in the middle of the Dursleys' living room. And they are all like, yes, is Harry coming? And I don't like the monsters right now, I'm sorry. They are all like, is Harry coming? Why is his stuff here? Oh, Dumbledore, you never know what he's up to. And the same scene in the books is used for pretty much the exact opposite. Like, Harry and Dumbledore are apparating, which means they can potentially go to any place at anywhere in the world, and they are still operating to outside the perimeter of the Dursleys and of Slughorn's house. They both times have to walk over there. And Harry asks Dumbledore, hey, why are we doing it like this? Why are we not transporting right into the burrow? Wouldn't that be much more safe and stuff? Dumbledore explains, yeah, even if it would be safe, we still need to give our friends the right to deny us access. That is a respectful way of doing it. So, why on earth would Dumbledore unannounced just put Harry's stuff into the middle of the Weasleys' living room and have them deal with that situation? Oh yeah, here's a 10-second warning and now you have a house guest for the rest of the summer holidays. That's not respectful at all. That's not the way Dumbledore would do it. So I really don't like that either. The movies then also made this decision of like having Ginny crush on Harry from the beginning, which is like, deep inside Ginny that's true. Alright, Ginny explains to Harry that she never totally gave up on him, but that Hermione explained to her, hey, if you want Harry's attention, you gotta be a normal girl, you gotta date other boys and stuff like that. And maybe the movies tried to show us that, but they didn't really know how, and so you have this weird thing where Ginny is totally into Harry, but at the same time you get scenes where she is kissing Dean. And you're like, does she like Harry now or not? What does she really want? Yeah, movie Ginny is its own cup of tea. There is one scene in the movies that kinda shows Ginny the way she is in the books, where at the Quidditch trials she's yelling at everyone. That is the Ginny that the fans of the books actually know. A very pretty girl who is also very strong, who knows her place. A girl that obviously grew up with how many brothers? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 brothers. Who always had to fight for a place in this family. And who is extremely confident, who is very talented, and who someone like Harry has obvious reasons for being into her. The movies don't really give us any of that. There, Ginny is like this awkward, cringy girl with no confidence. That is like, I don't know, just has no depth to her. Another thing the movies change is that they show Greyback as like a full member of the Death Eaters, which is something that is not true. Greyback was allowed to wear the Death Eater robes because he does a lot for the Death Eaters, but what you have to keep in mind is that the Death Eaters are brutally racist and they hate everyone who is not a full-blooded wizard. And a werewolf is a dirty half-blood to a Death Eater. You see that in the 7th book, in the opening chapter, where Voldemort is talking about how Tonks and Lupin married, and he's using that as an example to say, yeah, we need to cleanse our family trees of all the spoiled parts. And that is actually the reason why Bellatrix gets so mad at Lupin and is really at the hunt of the 7 Potters, is only trying to get him and kill him to get him off her family tree. So that is something you have to understand about Greyback. Yeah, Voldemort is using him for his purposes to blackmail people into following him. But if there would be a Death Eater meal, Greyback would not be allowed there. If there's at any time a Death Eater around, Greyback would be beneath them. Greyback would only be allowed to serve, he has to follow commands, he is a second tier member of society, maybe even a third tier, because he is a dirty half-blood. And the only good thing he has is transforming into a very powerful creature that the Death Eaters know how to abuse. Through the whole movie, they kinda tried to make this movie funny, I think. Like in his video essay, I wish I knew that guy's name, but he showed a scene, an interview scene where the director said that he kinda wanted to try doing comedy, something he never did before, for, as we all can see, obvious reasons, because he just didn't know how to do comedy. And to take the 6th Harry Potter movie and try to make a comedy out of it shows that there's no understanding for the source material. Because this book is just not funny. This 6th book is the best book J.K. Rowling ever wrote. And it has everything. It has comedic aspects, it has laugh, but it has more than anything drama and scary aspects and dark aspects. It's like it's the opening book to the Wizarding War. You see people dying, people disappearing, you see the horrors of the Death Eaters, the fear the people have to live with. Why on earth would you think, yeah, I make that a funny movie? Doesn't work. And so what this movie mainly focuses on is the love relationship of the kids, who are not really kids anymore, but they are growing up. But the whole movie through, nothing is more important than their relationships. And this book is not about that. It's an aspect of the book. It comes up. I mean, Harry falls in love with Ginny and discovers these feelings for her and has to fight with himself about, does he like her, does he not like her, what does that mean for his relationship with Ron, who does he prefer, would he rather save his friendship with Ron or would he rather be with Ginny? And that's a big topic of the book. We see, of course, Ron's games with Hermione, where like suddenly Lavender Brown comes up. This is just, yeah, it's a part of the books. It destroys Ron's and Hermione's relationship a lot. But it shouldn't be the main aspect of the book, of the movie. The main aspect of the movie should actually be Harry discovering Voldemort's past. And throughout the book, we get a lot of lessons Dumbledore gives Harry, where they visit the Pensieve and, yeah, look into the past of Voldemort. And there are so many fascinating and interesting scenes there. If you would have decided to make this movie like a mystery movie, this could have worked so well. Have this movie being very slow paced, have them go into these memories and riddle, is that the word? Riddle? Like think about what is going on there, what meaning does it have for Voldemort's character. this is such great writing, and it could have been easily the best movie in the series. And suddenly they decided to take like 2 trips into the pensive, and we see there how amazing it could have been, with like Dumbledore getting Voldemort out of the orphanage and seeing how amazing Tom Riddle is portrayed there. We could have had so much more of that, but instead, yeah, we only got this one scene and then the Slughorn memory. And yeah, then Harry goes on to get that memory from Slughorn with Fearless Felicis, and that works actually quite well. Another big issue is that Daniel Radcliffe's performance in this movie is just off, and he also said that himself, that he thinks his performance in the 6th movie was his worst. It's this comedy thing. I think the actors knew that it was supposed to be more comedic, and you totally see that in what Daniel Radcliffe is trying to do there, but it doesn't really fit his character, and it doesn't really fit the story. And yeah, then there is this scene with the fish of Lily, which is a cute scene. I don't really have an issue with this fish, but I don't know. It's not really on point. Yeah, he gets a memory. They find out about the Horcruxes, and I wonder if Dumbledore actually needed this memory, because like at that point he was already hunting Horcruxes all the time, so he must have known. Maybe he wanted to make sure that he was right about his thoughts, but he discovered the ring before before the story started, and destroyed it because of the Horcrux, and poisoned himself in the way. So I'm not really sure. Yeah, then they go out to get the next Horcrux, which is... Oh no, I forgot the most important scene in the entire movie. Like, this scene was so incredibly necessary. Like, they could have shown a random scene of a fly flying around for 10 minutes, and I guess that might have made the movie a better movie, if they would have not shown this next scene I'm going to describe to you, which happens during the Christmas holidays, where Harry visits the Dursleys. Why am I... The whole time I want to say Dursleys when I mean Weasleys. Sorry. And... yeah, they make all this cringy romance between Harry and Ginny. And Ginny is feeding Harry a Christmas cookie, and she is tying his shoelace. Whoa, so romantic. And then out of nothing, Death Eaters appear, and they run off into a cornfield or so, and then the Death Eaters burn down the burrow. Like, what? Why? What is the purpose of this? What is this showing us? Where did you find anything in the books that looks anything like that? Why would you think that it could be in any way a good idea to burn down the burrow? Like, where on the way of reading the 7th book and seeing what an important role the burrow has in the remainder of the story, did you think, oh yeah, this is a really good idea, let's burn down this very important place in the story. And then have no explanation about what is happening to this place, just the next scene we're there, it's just totally fine and nothing happened. And also have these Death Eaters appear out of nowhere, because obviously a place like the Burrow does not have any protection. Like, why would they put up protection? Just absolutely completely stupid. Gives nothing to the story, nothing to the movie. It's just stupid. So yeah, then they go out to get the medallion later on, and that scene is actually quite good. And yeah, I don't really remember the end of the book. We skip Dumbledore's funeral, which is a bit sad, because it's a beautiful scene. Yeah. Oh yeah, Harry discovers that the medallion is a fake. We don't really see him discover it, he's just telling his friends that that is okay, because that kinda would have been a bit boring. There's this great scene in the books where like McGonagall is taking the heads of the houses to Dumbledore's old office, and they are discussing whether or not they going to close the school. And for this brief period, I believe that it shows that Hagrid became actually the head of House Gryffindor, because like McGonagall took over the headmaster's office, so she is now headmistress and therefore no longer head of House Gryffindor, and instead she takes Hagrid into this place, and yeah, that kinda, in my opinion, makes him the head of the house for that period of time. And yeah, then they discuss what they should do, and she is proposing to close the school and asks Hagrid about his opinion, and he says he doesn't know what anyone would have wanted or what anyone should do, but he is going to be there, and if any kid comes to him, then he is going to teach that kid. Which is so powerful and so beautiful, and shows how much he understood Dumbledore, how much he valued Dumbledore, and that is exactly what Dumbledore would have done and what Dumbledore would have said. And that is how the school kinda gets saved in that moment. Really beautiful scene. Don't know if it needs to be in the movie, but I would have liked to see it. And yeah, I think with that I said everything that I kinda wanted to say at this point. I was able to say why I don't like the 6th movie. Quite a long episode. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching me walking through empty caves and talking about Harry Potter, and we're going to see each other again very soon, hopefully with another topic. So see you until then, have a good time.